effort to harmonize academic degrees, curriculum and certificates in line with West Africa, the Economic Community of West African States (Ecowas) said it is developing modalities to suit the growing internalization of education and culture in the region. This followed the discussion during the 2020 second extraordinary session on educational integration at the Joint Committee meeting with the Committee on Education, Science and Culture and the Committee on Communication and ICT of the ECOWAS Parliament, held visually. Addressing parliamentarians, Mrs. Rachel Ogbe, Principal Program Officer for Education, ECOWAS Commission, speaking on behalf of the ECOWAS Commissioner for Education, Science and Culture, noted that there is need for the ECOWAS to develop regional criteria for the harmonization of pre-university qualifications while taking cognizance of the period of study, the content of curricula, qualification assessment and other prerequisites for the establishment of equivalence of member state accreditation systems. She therefore added that such criteria will enhance defining benchmarks to match university and professional qualifications in the region, even as it draws a list of courses in member states' universities as well as admission requirements, number of years of study, required credits and certification within the ECOWAS region.
And the bottom line, we also have a framework, a legal framework for implementation of the convention. And the most important focus from the beginning was a multilateral recognition of certificates from member states. It's for the purpose of comparability of standards that issues of harmonization came up along the line, because there were situations where member states refused to accept certificates from other countries based on certain internal conditions. And that was why we found it necessary to agree on common frameworks, common criteria or benchmarks for acceptance. That was what informed our decision to develop a framework for harmonization of basic education, a framework for TVET strategy, and then for benchmarks for harmonization of university education. Having said that, it is also important to once again stress the issue of integration that is binding ECOWAS, and which takes precedence over individual differences in the member states. It is on the basis of that we developed this framework, and then we developed these criteria. Thereafter, having agreed on this, like I said earlier, we are now going into individual harmonization of curriculum. Now, there are three approaches or two approaches. Either we go towards harmonization of curriculum before we can talk of harmonization of certificates, as was the case of the Bologna process, or we have mutual respect for each other as member states, and then guide each other towards minimum standards for certification that will enable member states to interact in terms of exchange of personnel, exchange of skills, and exchange of students and lecturers. So, and we opted for, based on the framework, on the convention, a situation where we develop all these instruments, sub-instruments, while at the same time ensuring standard in member states. We are aware that in the 21st century, there are certain basic skills that are expected of a graduate with a bachelor, for instance, and that is what we call generic skills, like the ICT, numeric skills, communication skills, and other hands-on or soft skills. And these are being propagated as much as possible. In order to attend to subject-specific skills, that is what informed the decision of the Commission to begin the curriculum harmonization, beginning with mathematics, as I mentioned earlier. I also made reference to harmonization of health sciences on that during harmonization. We are aware that member states may not want to accept certificates from other countries because of some internal differences or specifications. That is why we sought to harmonize, a number of aspects of the education system: the basic education, the intermediate education, the university education. And if we pass through this process, after the parliament will present these documents to council and the heads of states with our regulation, we're hoping that individual member states will cooperate with one another in order to derive optimum benefit from education resources in the region.
Audio Jungle.